How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I'll bring you some evidence to an argument that I always talk about. Well, it's not really an argument, it's just a statement of a fact, and that is that the Democratic Party takes advantage of the black vote. This is a known fact. When you have 90 to 95% of a particular race that votes for one party, regardless of what the situation is, all the time, at a certain point, that party takes your vote for granted. They don't do anything for you. There's no outreach. There's nothing actually passed that's going to benefit you because they have no reason to. You don't ask for anything. You don't want anything. You're just going to go out there and vote Democrat because of social pressure, not because of any actual benefit. That's the whole thing. And that's part of the reason why I left the left. I put a video about that, about my experience, my red pill moment and my walk away moment in the box below if you want to check it out. But we have evidence right here. The DNC's chair, Tom Perez, came out and apologized for it. And let's just go through the article to see what it says. I may not get through the entire article, but we're going to just try to get to the good parts here. The Democratic Party apologizes to black voters. The DNC's bid to energize African American turnout this fall began with these words from Chairman Tom Perez in Atlanta: "I am sorry." And this is Stacey Abrams right here over my left-hand shoulder. She's trying to become the governor of Georgia. I say good luck with that. Georgia is a deep red state. ATL is blue as blue can get, as blue as her shirt, as blue as the signs, but it is a red state. It's not going to just turn magically into a blue state. But let's see what's going on here. And the article reads, "Swanky fundraisers don't often begin with an apology to the well-heeled donors who shelled out thousands of dollars to sip wine, eat steak, and listen to pep rally speeches. But as he looked out over a predominantly black crowd gathered at the Georgia Aquarium on Thursday night, Tom Perez, the Democratic National Committee chairman, felt compelled to issue a mea culpa. 'I am sorry,' Perez said. At first, it seemed like Perez was voicing one more generalized regret for the 2016 election that put Donald Trump into the White House, the squander opportunity that abruptly ended the Democrats' hold on the presidency and immediately put at risk its policy gains over the previous 8 years. Perez, however, soon made clear that his apology was much more specific. "We lost elections not only in November 2016, but we lost elections in the run-up because we stopped organizing," he said. "We stopped talking to people." Before we go any further, I just want to point out that Donna Brazile, a black woman, was the interim DNC chair. I wonder why she was not able to actually be the DNC chair and why the Hispanic Tom Perez took her place. Maybe it's because in these Democrat-led places, the Hispanics are now replacing the blacks. It's kind of symbolic right there, but I digress. "We took too many people for granted," Perez continued, "and African Americans, our most loyal constituency, we all too frequently took for granted. That is a shame on us, folks, and for that, I apologize. And for that, I say it will never happen again." So, okay, let's get this straight. You took the black vote for granted all the way up until the 2016 election. We're talking about, a couple years later. Is it going to change in 2 years? It's been that way for like 50 years. Ever since LBJ Great Society. Now, all of a sudden, since you came in to replace the black woman and Hispanic man, you're going to just make it all go away and things are going to change. My question would be, why change now? Why, like, you don't have to do anything. Why would you do anything to get the black vote now? Why would you not take the black vote for granted today? How can you actually win in that situation? Like, you have no real reason to do that, but let's keep going. Applause broke out before Perez could even finish his apology, heads nodding in acknowledgement and appreciation. Stop right there. So you mean to tell me that in this predominantly black crowd of people who had spent thousands of dollars to come eat steak and sip wine to see this Democratic man speak, they all felt the same way that they're being taken advantage of? So why are you spending thousands upon thousands of dollars to come eat and sip wine to hear him speak? You shouldn't be giving them any money until your actual needs are met. You see, this is what I'm saying. Why change it when there's no actual need to? These individuals who want to vote Democrat are going to vote Democrat regardless. You don't have to do anything to get them to do so, even if they know that they're being taken advantage of. But I'll continue. You know what? Before I continue, it's just like when you're dealing with a drug addict, right? You know, the person knows that they're on drugs and they're messed up, right? They know that they look messed up. It's just, they see themselves in the mirror. They know that this is not who they want to be. But you can't do anything to get them off drugs until they realize that they want to get off, until they want to do it for themselves. You can't force them. There's nothing you can do to get them off the drug, but let's keep going. That he would choose this event and the city to try and make amends with black voters was significant. Thursday's gala was the party's first major 2018 fundraiser to be held outside of D.C., and the I Will Vote initiative it supported aims to bolster DNC efforts to register new voters, fight voter suppression efforts in the United States, and ultimately turn out Democrats across the country in November. Okay, voter suppression, interesting. High turnout among black voters was key to Barack Obama's 2 presidential victories, and dips in participation when he was not on the ballot contributed to the Democratic wipeouts in 2010 and 2014, and to Hillary Clinton's narrow losses in states such as Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania in 2016. See, you see what they did there? They just blamed you, black people, for the 2010, 2014, and 2016 elections not going their way. So they want to apologize to you at the same time blame you. That's funny. But there are signs of a revival, not only in response to Republican efforts to reverse Obama's legacy, but also in response to efforts to erect barriers to voting that disproportionately affect African Americans. In Virginia, strong black turnout helped elect Governor Ralph Northam and the state's second black Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax last November. A month later, black voters and black women in particular powered Doug Jones to victory over Roy Moore in Alabama's special Senate election. Okay, let's pause right here. First of all, in Virginia, you already had a Democratic governor before. Virginia is a blue state, unfortunately, because of Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia has about 1/3 or more of the state's total population, and it is totally 100% blue. You got a couple of splashes of red in there, but every county, for the most part, is overwhelmingly blue because it is the D.C. metro area. And the D.C. people are going to vote blue because Democrats support big government, which gives them more money to live in the D.C. area. These people work with the government in some kind of way. So why would you vote against the government when you have an interest in the government getting bigger to get you a bigger paycheck? That's what that is. So it's not even really about black support. And as far as Doug Jones, well, you had a situation with Roy Moore that was going on with the allegations of the underage girls and stuff like that. That's why he won. It's not because of the black vote necessarily. This year, nowhere will black turnout be more crucial to Democratic hopes than in Georgia, where Stacey Abrams is vying to become the first African-American female elected governor of any state. Her nomination over Stacey Evans, a white woman, in May drew a surge of national attention, and the DNC's decision to hold Thursday's gala alongside an African-American leadership summit in Atlanta brought major party donors to Abrams' home base. Welcome to Georgia. Abrams told the DNC donors on Thursday before adding a gentle dig of her own party at the party. It's about time. Georgia is not a red state, she continued, setting up one of her signature campaign lines. We're just blue and confused. No, you're wrong about that. Georgia is a deep red state. Atlanta is an aberration because you got so many individuals that come from other states. A lot of liberal people, a lot of black folks, a lot of LGBT of all different backgrounds. Atlanta is just one city in Georgia. Georgia is a red state. Abrams will find out her general election opponent on Tuesday when Lieutenant Governor Cagle and Brian Kemp, Georgia Secretary of State, face off in a Republican primary runoff. Cagle, supported by the outgoing Republican Governor Nathan Deal, had been the favorite. But Kemp has caught up to him with a campaign targeting Trump voters, sometimes in an over-the-top fashion. He ran one ad in which he points a shotgun at a fictitious teenage suitor of his daughter. I mean, that's probably like a prom photo or something like that. Matter of fact, let's check it out right quick.
I'm Brian Kemp. This is Jake.
Let me see if I
young
can.
Man interested in one of my daughters.
Shout out to the shotgun. That's
Jake
hilarious.
asked why I was running for
All right. Let's get back to the article. In another, he notes he's got a big truck in case I need to round up criminal illegals and take them home myself. I think I saw that truck Matter
I'm
of
Brian
fact,
Kemp.
hold on, let me
I'm
see
so
if this is the
concerned.
same.
In case I need to round up
Oh, no, that ain't
criminal
the truck.
illegals and take them home myself.
It was another guy with a truck, and it had like some stuff on it talking about we're catching illegals. That was hilarious. Yep, I just said that. Kemp says in the latter spot, if you want a politically incorrect conservative, that's me. Trump rewarded Kemp with a tweeted endorsement on Wednesday, and Vice President Mike Pence is headed to Georgia on Saturday to campaign with him. To defeat either candidate, Abrams will need the support of the white Democrats and disaffected Republicans who in 2016 kept Trump to the lowest share of the statewide vote, 51% for any Republican presidential candidate in 20 years. But she'll also need supercharged turnout from black voters. That was in part the goal of Thursday's event, which featured a speaker's lineup of prominent black Democrats, including Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, former Attorney General Eric Holder, and Georgia's own Representative John Lewis. 3 ineffective and feckless individuals, but let's keep going. We have to get out and vote like we never voted before, Lewis said in an off-the-cuff address that fired up the crowd more than any other speeches from the party's younger stars. If Doug Jones can win Alabama, Stacey Abrams can win here in Georgia. I doubt it. Throughout the night, speakers paid tribute to civil rights icons such as quote-unquote, Lewis, Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. was the man. John Lewis was the man standing next to the man. Not the same kind of person. A son of Atlanta and Fannie Lou Hamer. But despite the presence of 2 of his former cabinet members, there was curiously little mention of Obama. His name wasn't uttered at all until Booker, the evening's final speaker, invoked his memory by way of a joke. I want to tell you the truth. I miss Obama, said the senator and potential presidential aspirant. And he quickly added to last, I miss her husband, too. Oh. See, okay, I don't know what's going on with Cory Booker. So I guess he says he misses Michelle, and then whatever. Maybe he wants to run with her in 2020 or 2024. I don't know. Indeed, the evening's themes were, in some ways, an implicit critique of the first black president and the shortcomings of his tenure, beginning with Perez's apology to the very voters who twice put him in office. Obama has long faced criticism that, under his leadership, Democrats neglected voter mobilization and were unable to extend the president's personal brand to candidates up and down the ballot. The party lost the House and Senate governor's races and hundreds of state legislative seats during its 2 terms. Well, it's not so much about rallying the base as far as just getting them to come out and vote. It's a matter of your performance when you're in office. If you don't perform well and people see it, then maybe they may vote differently. Because let's just get it clear. A lot of the same individuals that voted for Barack Obama twice voted for Donald Trump in 2016. So it's not even about anything else other than I don't want more of the same. Obama did not meet my expectations, so I'm going to vote in a different way. That's what that was. Representative Cedric Richmond of Louisiana, the chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus, chided Democratic politicians for not talking to black voters in a language that they can understand. We can't talk to them in these Ivy League terms. Too dumb for that, huh? Richmond added. He went on to rib the Yale-educated Booker, but he could have also been referring to the often high-minded Harvard-educated former president. Booker, possibly testing out a stump speech for his own White House run, listed an array of problems facing the country, from economic inequality to mass incarceration. Everything I mentioned, he said pointedly, was going on before Donald Trump got elected. A year and a half after Obama left office, the Democratic Party seems finally to be moving on from his presidency. Gone were the tributes to his legacy so common in 2016 and the first months of the Trump presidency, along with ritual campaign trail exhortations to build on the progress he had made. For the DNC and for the party more broadly, Thursday's event was aimed at promoting a new generation of black leaders. Ain't no black leader. Come on, man. The idea of a black leader died when Martin Luther King died. Abrams and Atlanta's new mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms in Georgia, and perhaps Booker on a national level. From the underappreciated black electorate, first with an apology and then a rallying cry, Democrats hope they can earn a fresh start. Okay. So, yeah, this article was all over the place. At the end of the day, as I close, this proves what I say about the Democratic Party. Number one, they take your vote for granted. They say they apologize for it, but I did not hear, at least in this article, any ways to stop taking the vote for granted. And you saw the individuals that came there who spent thousands of dollars to come to this fundraiser for this Democratic woman. They applauded when Tom Perez said that the black vote had been taken for granted, yet they were still there. If you believe what he said, then why are you there? Get some stuff done first. Have them stop taking your vote for granted first, and then, and only then, can you come to a place and be like, okay, now we support you. Now we're gonna give you some money. Get stuff done, then we help. Don't have it be the other way around. Don't give them the money and then say, please help. That doesn't make any sense. And it was also funny how they blamed black folks for the 2010, 2014, and 2016 elections not going the right way. That was hilarious. So not only do they take your vote for granted, if you don't come out and vote, they're mad at you. They want to just throw you under the bus. The same way that the woman who climbed the Statue of Liberty, or pardon me, climbed the base of the statue, she didn't make it to the torch, much to my dismay, but they threw under the bus too. They were like, well, we don't really know her. We don't recognize her. Hopefully her lawyer will come to her aid and get her out of the jam that she's in, out of the little dilly of a pickle, the kerfuffle that she found herself in. This is what Democrats do, as I close for real this time. This is what they do. They treat you like you're garbage. They don't respect you. They don't think you could do anything for yourself. At the same time, they are not going to do anything for you other than what they already are doing, which is nothing. So I'm pretty much done. I want to hear your thoughts about it. Do you think that I was exaggerating in my take on the article? Did you already know that the Democratic Party takes the black vote for granted? They take any vote for granted that they don't have to do anything to get. If whites voted 90% for the Democratic Party, then it'll be taken for granted. Why do anything when we don't have to? They'll still vote for us at a 90 to 95% rate. Same thing with Hispanics. I mean, they're trying to do this whole, they're trying to be against the wall, all this, that, and the third, but they don't understand that a lot of Hispanics believe in the wall as well because they ran away from these particular places to find a better life. They don't want to have the MS-13 and cartels follow them here. As citizens, we want people to come into the country that are going to be good, that are going to be productive. If you're non-productive, then you can't be here. But that's pretty much all I got. So whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.